Okay, what's up guys, how's it going? I'm Alex, welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk about the meaning and purpose of your life. They're different. And I'm gonna have to read some notes because I made some notes on my laptop, so I want to be able to go through it. So, meaning and purpose are not the same. Just because you give yourself a purpose doesn't mean it has meaning. A purpose is just anything that you do. Your purpose for today could be, I want to do 10 push-ups. That doesn't mean that 10 push-ups has any meaning. I'm gonna do something. However, quite often we feel like our life has meaning when we have a purpose. This is just because we are distracted from stillness, from nothingness. So giving yourself a purpose is just giving yourself something to do as a distraction. It doesn't necessarily mean that you now have a meaning. You may even become aware of this when you take a break, take an outside perspective and look at your life and think, what am I really doing? I have a purpose, but what's the meaning behind it? Why am I doing all these things? Take a 9-to-5 week, for example. You work in a bank, you work in a shop, whatever. That's not your meaning of life. Your meaning isn't, I've decided to work. That's your purpose. The work itself may even have no meaning. However, the purpose is because you're providing for your family. You have to keep asking yourself why. You might think, I'm working, and the reason, the meaning of me working is to provide for my family. But that's not the meaning of the work. That's your purpose. The purpose of this work is for me to provide my family. That doesn't give the work meaning. Meaning is just what makes it important to you. Your family has meaning. The work does not have meaning. Your work is the purpose. So you have to keep asking yourself why. Why am I working? I'm working to provide for my family. Why am I working to provide for my family? Because I want to take care of them. Why do I want to take care of my family? Because I love them. Why do I love my family? That's a hard question, but you have to keep following the trail of whys and understand what the underlying reason, the underlying meaning is, so that your purpose is a good one. So the reason you're working is because you love your family, and then you can just follow the whys. So why do you love your family? Because it makes me happy. Why does it make me happy? Because I love them. Why do I love them? Because it makes me happy. And there's gonna be a point where you keep asking yourself why, and you can only go backwards and forwards between two answers. To me, I have to change the question. Why does it make me happy? Because I care about them. Why do I care about them? Because it makes me happy. Why do I want to be happy? Because it makes life enjoyable. Why do I want life to be enjoyable? Because why would you want life to be miserable? You keep following the whys, and you can figure out the meaning of your life. So the meaning is it's not your work. We follow that trail of whys, and now we've realized that the meaning is, I want my life to be enjoyable. So we follow that trail of whys, and we've realized that the meaning, because there's no intrinsic meaning that we come out with as children. Maybe to survive, maybe to be sociable, because it's natural for children to communicate with other people, communicate with other children, and to try and survive, do the best that they can to keep going. But except for that, we giving ourselves a meaning using our self-awareness and our ability to think, we have to decide what that meaning is. This one was just personal to me, what I would think. So if I've decided I just want my life to be enjoyable, why? Because it's fun. Why do I want fun? And at that point, you're just asking yourself stupid questions. Why would I not want fun? You know? And there's almost no deeper that I can go without learning something else. So at that base level, I want life to be fun. And now I can go from that meaning and start building my life up. So now, if I want my life to be fun, do I necessarily have to work that job? Do I necessarily have to even work? Do I necessarily have to love money? Once you have that meaning, then you can give yourself purpose. Derive your purpose from your meaning, instead of trying to derive your meaning from your purpose. Because that is what most people do. Most people, I won't say most people, many people, they live a life because they were told that it's the best way to keep up with the society, to exist in this society. So you work a job, like, I want to be a doctor. But why do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to do it for the money? Because if you're trying to be a doctor for the money, there's plenty of ways to get more money than being a doctor. Do you want to do it because you want to help people? There's plenty of ways to help people other than being a doctor. So there has to actually be a meaning. You can't give yourself a purpose and then say, okay, the reason I want to be a doctor is this. Because most people are told what they want to do. So when you're young, your parents are trying to bring you up in a certain way, and then you say, okay, I'm going to be a doctor, and now I need to find meaning in it. Okay, I'm going to travel Okay, I want to do something. You decide you want to do something, maybe just for fun, but then you try and derive meaning from it. Not everything you do has to have a meaning. Like, not everything you do has to be meaningful. The meaning can just be fun. So take that same 9 to 5 week, but do nothing. You may feel like your life has no meaning, but in actual fact, your life just has no purpose. Because your life didn't have meaning in the first place. You just randomly made one up. You derived the meaning from purpose, but you're meant to derive purpose from meaning. So because you haven't given yourself a purpose, you feel like your life is meaningless. So say you don't give yourself a purpose. Instead, you have to find a meaning in life. But this is way too difficult. How can we, even with our capabilities, how can we just objectively come up with a meaning of life? And the problem is, we try and come up with a meaning of life, which is objective. But based on the knowledge that we have so far, there is no objective meaning of life. Every single person has something. And when we say meaning, it's just important. What is important? And each person is going to have something different to them. What is important, meaningful, which gives life meaning. So you cannot have one thing. It's incredible that so many people decide to work for their lives as their meaning. Well, it's actually their purpose, but they think it's their meaning. How can every single person have such a similar meaning? I guess we're the same creature, so it is possible, but just think about that. Every single person is an individual. We have different likes, different interests, different hates, different wants, different desires, different wishes. So how can our meaning all be so similar? To work a 9 to 5, to work a job, just to survive in a society which we were born into. Not that we even chose, just a society that we were born into. But it's just easier. It's easier to just give yourself that purpose and call that your meaning, rather than find a meaning. I'm going to paraphrase what I read in Ben Franklin's autobiography. It is fortunate that humans are creatures of reason, for it allows us to justify our actions. By giving yourself a purpose, you have to justify what you do, because your purpose is what you do. So if you go outside and punch someone in the face, you have to justify why you did that. He annoyed me, she annoyed me, they annoyed me, they deserved it. And we'll justify it so that we feel happy about doing it. So that we don't feel guilt. We feel like it was justified. So we're going to work every day and we're trying to find reasons to justify why we are at work. We are trying to find reasons to justify why I can argue against someone, why I'm not giving homeless people money, why I'm not helping others, why I decided to stop talking to people, we're justifying every single thing we do in our life. Why didn't I work out today? Justify, I'm tired. Justify, I had something else to do. Justify, I didn't have enough time. We are justifying our purposes, our actions. And that seems to give it a meaning. But anyway, back to that 9 to 5 week where we're doing nothing, where we're searching for meaning. We're not really going to search for meaning. We're going to search for things to do. I should watch TV. I should learn to speak a language. I should learn to code, or whatever people are learning nowadays. I should learn to build an app. But that's not a meaning of life. You're just trying to find a purpose, something to distract you, something that you should do so that it feels like your life is meaningful. Because if I'm just lying in bed the whole day, people will be like, you did nothing with your life. Meaningless, hopeless. But if you woke up and said, oh, I learned some new words in a language today, I was like, oh, that's really cool, man. And you'll be like, yeah, what I'm doing is meaningful. It's just a random purpose that you selected. There's nothing intrinsically meaningful about what you do. That's just a purpose. The meaning comes from layers far beneath that we almost never consider. Not consciously anyway. Subconsciously, we may know that we're doing that, and that's why we keep going to work. That's why we keep doing what we do. But we are not aware of the meaning. We've given ourselves a purpose. So say you're lying in bed, you're thinking of things to do, thinking of purpose, but you decide, oh, I just can't be bothered to even do anything. Now you're just going to be thinking about your life. You're going to be thinking about meaning. And that is an impossible question. How can you know what the meaning is in your life? You have to keep asking yourself why. So you can figure out something which is important to you, but you can't objectively figure out a meaning of life. You have to subjectively decide what's important to you and figure out that meaning. Because people are not often aware of this, what we do is we subjectively decide that none of the things that we want to do are satisfactory, and as a result, we have to find a meaning in life, And because we find it so difficult to find meaning, we spiral into negative thoughts as we consider each of our actions and everything we do, and we find out that they're meaningless. So if you're just lying in bed, you're like, oh, why do I go to work every day? Why do I even get up? Why do I do anything? And we just become quite nihilistic. And if you aren't a believer in God, and I wish I believed in God, because then it would mean everything has a meaning. The reason for this life is to well, I don't know the Bible, but I wish I believed in some form of God, so that I knew that this life was for a reason. But we don't know the reason of life, especially if you're an atheist. It's just nothing. But because we're able to think, we realize that ultimately nothing's meaningful. So you could kill someone, and that has meaning in our society. But objectively, what does it matter? It's just a life ended. It's a life taken. We could sit at home, do nothing, just eat, sleep, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter any more or less than someone who's earning millions. Because being from birth to death, once death is upon everyone, then what was the meaning of your life? People can want to be remembered, but you don't even know if you're going to be remembered. You just have to be like, you can't 100% know. You can just be like, people are going to remember me. The people around you might remember you. There's no way of knowing that the whole world is going to remember you. There's no way of knowing that anyone's ever going to care about you. Well, maybe there is. Maybe there's ghosts everywhere, we don't see them. But that meaning, that's a purpose that people have given people. I want people to remember me. That doesn't necessarily make your life meaningful. The meaning, we subjectively decide what meaning is. But because we aren't capable of considering what objectively the meaning of life is, we think our life has no meaning. But you have to subjectively decide what is meaningful to you. So if you wake up every day, you kiss every single person in your family, you go to work, you come back and you laugh and play with them. Some people might say that they would rather go out, travel the world, blah, blah, blah. That gives them more meaning. But if what I said previously is what gives you meaning, then that is what makes your life special. There is no objective way to say, this is what is meaningful for life. Because it's different for every single person. So as I was saying, our actions, they may seem meaningless. So what can we do about that? We have to choose a meaning. And what does that even mean? We have to choose a meaning. How do we do that? So how can we find meaning? How do we even know what is important? We can think, as I said, follow a trail of whys. Why are we doing everything? The base one is your root meaning for your life. If you're working, ask yourself why. If you're eating, ask yourself why. If you're loving your family, if you're traveling, why? Follow the trail of whys down and you'll find out why do I want to be happy? Follow the trail of whys. Follow it and figure out the root meaning. At this point in your life, you may in 60 years you may figure out more whys, and then you can change. In 20 years, in 5 years, in 3 months, tomorrow, you never know. You have to keep following the trail of whys of what you're doing. So how can you choose a meaning? Follow that trail of whys, or there's paths that are already laid out, paths which have made others happy. Happiness seems to be just one of the easiest fundamental things to base your life on, because if our life is meaningless, then we may as well enjoy it. So it's one of the easiest fundamentals to base your life on. Money, family, power, happiness is beneficial to us and many other people, especially when it's shared. But of course we have to find a balance. We can't just 100% happy, otherwise that's why people just heroin, alcohol. They have to have a balance between what is beneficial to ourselves, what is fun, what is enjoyable, and what is acceptable and optimal in life, especially in this society or whatever society that you're living in. So map out how you want your life to look. Health, wealth, relationships, make efforts to accomplish that. It may not even be correct because we only have so much information at this stage, but that's why after a period of time we can reassess using the same structure, and ultimately our life purpose will become finding meaning. So say you follow the trail of whys. I want to be happy. What can I do to make me happy? I'll do this. I'll live this life. Boom, I've chosen. After a while, you reassess. I've found some more whys. I found some different meaning in life. choose a different path which I feel is going to make me happy, which I'm going to enjoy, live that life. So your purpose can be to keep making your life meaningful, but you gave yourself a purpose out of the meaning. So you gave yourself a purpose out of the meaning. You've decided what's meaningful to you in life, and you've given yourself a purpose. Family is important to me, love is important to me, traveling is important to me. Okay, let's come up with purposes that will help me with those meanings. 5 years later, things have changed. Now I like money a little bit, I want to be powerful, I want a relationship. Okay, this is what's meaningful to me. Give yourself a purpose that will help you live that life. And your life's purpose will be supporting your meaning. And your purpose will come from the meaning instead of the meaning coming from the purpose, because you chose to assess, think about, and contemplate the meaning before just doing something and then searching for meaning. Only downside to what I've just said is that it's based off happiness. Why should we necessarily go after happiness? It's just a random measure of existence, and it seems to me like the best one. If anything in life is meaningful, it's the moments that are enjoyable. Do your best to make your life the best for you. Make it happy. Why do I want my life to be happy? I don't even know how to answer that question, because at that point it's a feeling. That's what I want. Why do I love my family? Because it makes me happy. Why do I want my family to succeed? Because it makes me happy. Why do I want to be happy? That's the feeling. Why do I want to be happy? I want to feel that way. Why do I want to feel that way? Because it's the best I can feel. And that's where my trail of whys ends at the moment. Happiness. So find your meaning and derive your purpose from that. As I said before, most people give themselves a purpose at random. I'm randomly gonna decide to be a doctor. Why? I'm randomly gonna decide to be a dentist, an accountant, a banker, whatever. And then they try to derive meaning from it. I'm trying to be a banker because I'm gonna help my family, I'm gonna make a certain amount of money, blah, blah, blah. But you chose to be a banker first, and then you were like, yeah, it's because I'm trying to get money for my family. Follow the trail of whys first. Find the base meaning, and then decide what job you want. And then decide, okay, the best way for me to take care of my family is to be a banker. That's how you choose. You don't decide randomly some random profession or some random activity and like, I want to travel the world. You're traveling like, why am I doing this? Oh, to broaden the mind, just to experience stuff. You have decided, you've just done something that people do and you haven't given it a meaning, and now you're trying to search for the meaning within it. Meaning should be, I want to be happy. What makes me happy? I like experiencing new things, I like traveling, I like cultures. Okay, I'm gonna travel. Why am I traveling? Because it makes me happy. Not, I'm traveling, oh, it broadens the mind and all this. You have to find the meaning first. Not objectively, just what's important to you. And as far as I'm aware, it's gonna always boil down to happiness. So find yourself that meaning. What are the things that are important to your life, and then live to maximize them. My family is important. How can I make sure my family is important to me? I want them to be happy because it makes me happy. So how can I make my family incredibly happy? Earn a lot of money, spend a lot of time with them, build a house, buy a house, buy them presents once a week, go on holiday with them 2 or 3 times a year. Whatever it is, the meaning should come first. And then let your purpose be trying everything so that you are supporting your meaning. So find that meaning and let your purpose be doing whatever you can to support that meaning. Obviously being happy as a base. So your purpose is, I want to find happiness as much as possible. What can I do to make me happy? And that's how you can live your life. If you structure your life in this way, you will not wake up every day and think, what am I doing? Why am I working here? Why am I in this country? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And because we're not smart enough, we think it's our fault. It's not our fault that we don't have a meaning. It's not like we're naturally gonna wake up and think, oh, why am I doing this? But if you haven't found a meaning, then you're just gonna say just because, and you're gonna try and find a meaning in what you're doing. Find the meaning and then do something. Don't do something, then find a meaning. By selecting what's important to you beforehand and why it's important, you give yourself an undefinable reason to continue. Once you found the meaning, it will be a feeling. You just want your life to be like this, and your purpose will keep coming out. And remember to reassess your life, to update and keep making things better. And now, not only do you have something to do with your life, but you have the best, strongest reason for doing it. I think that's about it. But before you leave, make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, where it is, over there. In the description, got my social media. Actually, get my Snap code. I'm gonna put it full screen. Make sure you take a screenshot so you can add me on Snapchat. Follow me on Instagram. Check out some of my other videos. I am sure they will help you too. And also, if you prefer reading, I've got a blog where I will put stories and lessons that help me, and I know they'll help you as well. And except for that, that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.